I feel pretty secure with my pony clips, but because I drilled from the bottom side of this, and then I'm flipping it over to put the rivets in. And the reason I'm doing that is because I found out there's some flak or some, not shrapnel, but little pieces of splinters of metals that's coming up through the hole that's interfering with my rivet. So I flip it over, I'm gonna rivet from this side and go down through like I did for the hinge. But I put little metal screws in along with my pony clip for the flip so that the flange doesn't loosen up and ruin the nice pilot holes that I put in for my rivet insertions. Here's the sequence. I'm using the long, this is a diameter of 1/8 inch or 3 millimeter. The grip is 1/2 inch. So I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of metal here. So, and the pilot hole fits down in. I gave the hole a little tap to get rid of some of that flaky stuff that's on there. I'm using the larger number 6 washer on top, and I'm using the smaller because, you know, your rivet has like a little built-in washer on, so I don't need to use my precious smaller ones. And I'm using that smaller one that I couldn't find at Home Depot. I've got to find more of these. I only have about 20 of them left to go underneath. Right there. Now, at this point, I would appreciate everybody in the audience crossing your fingers. Here we go. Well, the bottom popped out okay, and I'm feeling for the washer. Yes! The washer's on there. That's the same success that I found with these other ones down through here after I figured out the combination of what rivet goes with what washers. So there you go. The hinge rivet, which is one of the most important, is in. Okay. Now the next step we'll just continue on taking out each of the little support screws and riveting all the way across till we get this trim on the one side in. And then I won't bore you with the procedure other than that, but we do the same thing then for this side over here. Okay, this side is all riveted on, all the washers are intact, and it's nice and solid. That's what we want. We need it to be solid because this is going to have wind pushing it, and it'll be up and down at night. So I wanted just to make a note about your pony clips. Whenever you have clamps on a project, unless you have to make some adjustments in the middle of it, always leave your clamps on until all your fasteners are totally secured all the way along, just for your sanity's sake. Just in celebration of finally figuring out the formula for putting the rivets on, I thought we could take a stroll through Rivet Lane. Seeing how they all are on there. The washers are secure, rivets are in place, panel is solid. Shoo! What we had to get through to get to that. Just for uniformity of your pilot holes for your rivets, I take just a little side note. You don't really have to do this, but I just kind of like my rivets in the same place along the frame so it looks a little smoother. But I took a measuring tape and clamped it off here at, it's about 36 inches, a little bit more. And I found the mid-center there, which is 18 1/4, and then divided that in half. So one is about 9 1/8 and the other one is about 27 1/8. And that'll be where I'll be drilling my holes so they're nice, bing, bing, bing all along the edge. You know, I was thinking about the pony grips. These are fine for putting a little tension on your material so it doesn't slip around when you have to work with it. But if you're, let's say you're at a particularly tough corner. I've got, what, 5 layers of material through here. Actually 6, because it's going through the stretcher bar. Well, this pony clip isn't going to be strong enough. It just works off of 2 little spring steel, a spring steel in there. So you could bring a vice grip in to work for you. This adjusts on the end. I know a lot of the guys have used this before. Some of the women in the audience may not. But you adjust your knurl on the end here. It just screws in and out, that little bolt. And that adjusts this part, which hooks onto your teeth. And you can give yourself more slack by wheeling it out. It makes the teeth wider and doesn't go together as much. Or you can screw it in, and that'll put more pressure going up this way, and then it'll give you less room on top. So what it does is you can get onto your piece and kind of get an idea as to how much pressure you need. Now that closed too easy, so it didn't squeeze the parts together at all. So I'm gonna, there's a little relief lever back here. You just push on it and it opens up the jaws. So I'm gonna screw in a little more, put a little more tension on it, try it again. Now that was kind of tough for me to push, and it put a lot of tension on here. A lot more than what the pony clip can do. Nothing wrong with pony clips, they have their place. This is just a little more heavy duty, just so you know. And that's the end of that side. Well, it's moving along. This is a second piano hinge here. It's going to be used for the side flanges. I have to make one piano hinge stretch for 2 flanges, so I've got to cut it in half. And this is 6 foot, so I got to mark it at 3. Measure again. 6 foot. It is marked at 3. And that's where I need to cut. This particular piano hinge, we looked at it in the store that day, the salesperson and me, and it has little divots on along the length. Let's see, like right there's a little divot. Right there's another little divot, which holds the center little bar in. That's what your hinge pivots on. So as long as I don't cut through one of those divots, the bar should stay inside the hinge and not cause a problem. So it's time to get my hacksaw back out. You know, it's good sometimes to think twice and act once. So all this corner from here over would be sticking out above this piece. So that would be butt ugly. Okay, we're looking at the solar oven.